What's up, guys? Good evening and welcome to Roma Theory. It's the day after, of course. This is your Coder reaction. I rewatched the game, I rewatched the goal, I rewatched that Kone incident, and I feel like I want to add a lot of things because, again, the main lesson that yesterday's game gave to us is very clear, and I think we discussed it perfectly in yesterday's match reaction. But there are other elements that I didn't touch on yesterday, which I do want to add because I think they're key points to add from as drawbacks from yesterday's game. But yeah, I mean, look, let me know your thoughts. I know I didn't read comments yesterday, so if you've got any comments regarding yesterday's game that I did miss, or you've got any questions, or you want to add something, maybe you rewatched the game as well, of course, feel free to use the live chat. Hit the like, subscribe. And why was everyone wearing black yesterday at the stadium? There isn't a reason. It's just that it's cold, and I think it's way more likely that the probability of finding black jackets is definitely, or at least dark jackets, is higher than finding white jackets. And also because I think it's not like you have a dress code at the stadium, but I feel like it's not like you need to dress in black, but I feel like stadium to me is like black jacket during the winter. But that's just maybe me. Okay, I want to start off with the Kone incident because I said that it was a foul yesterday, and I must say it's not clear. It's not clear. Again, I really think that after the defeats like yesterday, where we played atrociously, I don't think the refereeing is a justification. I think the refereeing was shit. I think it was. There was a frame that I saw this morning in that chance that Noah Lang had after like 15 minutes, and he went studs up on Zvilor. How is that not even a yellow card? Some rules I don't understand. The point here is, in my opinion, is not the fact that that's a foul or no foul, because I think that's a 50-50 foul. I think that's a foul that either the referee blows immediately or VAR won't intervene. It's that kind of a foul. I think Kone does move the ball before, but it is also true that the player also hits. It's a 50-50 foul. I'm not going to stick on that. This is not who I am. After Budapest, I'm never going to stick on on refereeing ever again, because I think, yeah, I mean, it's just you can't stick on that scene as the main cause as to why we lost yesterday. They were better than us. They ate us up on that in that midfield. And I think that they deserved to win, even though they didn't create much, but they deserved to win. My point here, however, is not whether that's a foul or not. My point and why I was mad about the refereeing yesterday is because these decisions are not universal. They're not. And this is the thing that pisses me off. It's not the foul, because as I just said, you can give that foul, you cannot give that foul. It depends on the referee. It's a 50-50 challenge. But I can guarantee you that if we were Inter today, or if we were Milan today, they would have given that foul. And it's that which pisses me off. It's the fact that these decisions don't have a universal path. And for every game, these referees make up their own rules. So, again, is that the reason we lost? No. But I am pissed off and frustrated because there is no universality in the decisions of these referees. And that, in my opinion, is the worst thing about the refereeing. Moving on. One thing that I want to add is that I think we lost part of yesterday's game on Thursday with that Midtjylland game. And what did I say in that match preview before Midtjylland? This Midtjylland game, nobody wanted to play 2 days before such a big game against Napoli. No one. No one. You can like this mentality or not. You can agree with this mentality or not. I am certainly someone who doesn't like scrapping tournaments away. We're in the Europa League. We need to play our Europa League games. But I knew it from the beginning of last week that that Midtjylland game would have repercussions. We didn't play well in that game. That game dragged Manu Kone out with an injury, made him questionable for the Napoli game. He decided to start and force on his injury. And it's one of the reasons we lost yesterday, because Lobotka completely ate Manu up yesterday because Manu clearly wasn't fit. So I think part of us losing yesterday is because of that game on Thursday. Playing on a Thursday evening meant that we had 2 days to prepare this game. Napoli played 2 days before. That's not that big of a deal. But end the game, restart, recharge, refocus on the new game. It doesn't take 48 hours for us to prepare games like this, especially with a team which is overperforming. You cannot expect that in 48 hours you switch off and switch on again. Our squad depth isn't good enough. This is an alarm which has been ringing ever since the season started and ever since the transfer market ended. It's not the fact that we lost yesterday's game that now makes us say this. This is, I think, what people get wrong. I think too many people act destroyed after yesterday's defeat because everything that we've done before yesterday's defeat was very good. And yesterday's defeat comes and everyone wants to destroy themselves, when the reality is that we've been overperforming, because this team is not a Scudetto team, as we said yesterday. This team can compete for the Champions League because it's proven that it can do it. But the A team can challenge for it. Whenever our rotations come in, whenever we need some elements of rotation, I think our squad depth isn't good enough. And I've been saying this since August. I just haven't mentioned it in previous games because the players were playing very well, and there were very little times that we relied on our second options. So again, I think there needs to be no drama. There needs to be no drama because this is the normality. Because this is who we are and this is what we can achieve this season, a fight for top 4. And I think on paper we're the 5th best team in the league, because I still think Napoli, Milan and Inter are better than you, but I still think that on paper Juventus is better than you. So you've been overperforming, and I think you remain the 5th best team in the league on paper in terms of quality of players. I think yesterday's game proves it. Which now that the Cagliari game this weekend, but then you've got those 2 games, Como at home, Juventus away. Those 2 games are crucial, absolutely crucial, very important games, both of them. Then you've got you've got Como and Juventus together in 1 week. That week is going to be crucial because you will face yourself against probably the team that you will need to compete against for top 4, which is Juventus, and against a reality which is proving to be very good this season, which is Como, who, as I said before, I think they have the best player in the league. Nico Paz, I think he's the best player in the league. The other thing that I think comes out of yesterday's game, which I rewatched, is a problem that was very persisting at the beginning of the season, which is nobody. Pellegrini did it well yesterday for half an hour. I think Pellegrini was the best yesterday, but still, you have nobody with tempo. And again, it can win you games against the teams that we beat. It can win you games against Genoa. It can win you games against Verona, Parma. It can get you full points against these teams. It can also maybe win you games against Como, who are a good team but still aren't a proven side. And even Bologna, because you beat Bologna. And by the way, everyone starts going, oh, well, Roma beat Bologna in game week 1. Bologna weren't Bologna. What are we supposed to... Is that our fault? Did I decide that we played Bologna in game week 1? No. So that's childish. To say that, oh, Roma haven't won one big game, they only beat Bologna because it was game week 1. That's like saying... That's like saying read gullables on the ceiling. Like, it's like a child saying to you, look, there's a horse flying. What is, I mean, it's Bologna. It's not like in game week 1 they were Verona. And it's not my fault is it my fault that we played them in game week 1? No. So we beat Bologna and everyone can shut up. Again, I said it. Bologna now is probably different, but what's the point in bringing the argument about? What I was saying, what was I saying? What I was saying is that whenever you face Napoli, Milan, Inter, as we've seen, you realize that they have players with tempo, with pace, with dribble that we don't have. And it's the reason they win games. It is. Because the reason Napoli win yesterday is because they have Noah Lang and David Neres as their two wingers who completely ate us up. Against Milan, you lost because they have Leao, who kills you when it comes to speed. Against Inter, you lost because of that through ball. But you see what I mean? Like, we don't have players that cut in or dribble or produce one-on-ones. Sule, I love Matti, but I think, and it's not I think, it's proven, Matti in big games, ghosts, absolutely ghosts. He played terrible yesterday, terrible. So the reason we lost yesterday is, yes, because they were very compact, and when Napoli compacts itself, also when Kone isn't fit, they ate us up in that middle. But at the end of the day, they scored because we were unprepared in defense, but because they've got two lethal wingers. And that's what this team needs. And that's what we need to get in January. And what we had to get in June, but somebody thought it was a good idea not to. Ending up with Bailey, who as of now is about as useful as a fucking wooden candle. Yesterday he got subbed on with that airband on it. I thought it was Gervinho, and it was like, give me Gervinho, man. These games, these players in modern football win you games. It's very simple. It's very, very simple, and we have nobody. Nobody in this team does that. Nobody in this team has tempo. Nobody in this team has pace. Nobody. Sule doesn't, because Sule doesn't produce one-on-ones. Sule always cuts in. There is nobody that directly faces an opponent and dribbles. The only one is Wesley, but he's a fullback. So we can't always rely on him, which is why every time we attacked yesterday, we gave the ball to Wesley. He's the only player who can produce one-on-ones. Nobody in this team produces one-on-ones. We've got too many similar players. Sule, Baldanzi and Dybala, uncomparable in terms of technique and quality, of course. But on what they do and how they move on the pitch, they're the same player. They're the same player. And on the other side, you've got Pellegrini, who is literally the same, just right-footed. So that is, we're too saturated when it comes to left-footed players who aren't left-footed wingers. They're left-footed number 10s. We don't have wingers. We don't have any tempo. We don't. So what we need to add is this. What we need to add in terms of characteristics of players is players who dribble, players who will produce that offensive inequality against these teams. Because otherwise it's hard, guys. It's hard. And I've been saying this. We're overperforming because, I mean, just the concept that we're 1 point behind first place, and we were first place before this game week with no number 9s, in my opinion, is ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous in a good way. It's ridiculous in a good way. So everyone who looks at yesterday's game and starts complaining, oh, we're shit, oh, we're shit, oh, we're shit. We played shit, but there are root problems that don't arise from yesterday's game. They've been there ever since this season started. They just got faded in the background because of our good results. But whenever you face these teams, these limits come out. And it's the reason why you don't win these games. and haven't won these games. And it's the reason why every time you concede a goal first, you never win. Because there is no offensive threats. Is it, am I supposed to think it's a coincidence? 1-0 down against Inter, you lose 1-0. 1-0 down against Milan, you lose 1-0. 1-0 down against Napoli, you lose 1-0. 1-0 down to Lille, you lose 1-0. 2-0 down to Viktoria Plzen, you lose 2-1. 1-0 down to Torino, you lose 1-0. With this team, whenever it concedes first, doesn't win games. Because we don't have a good offensive threat. And that's because we don't have players that dribble. Or not dribble, produce one-on-ones. All I want is a one-on-one. You know, Estevao, Lamine Yamal, Yildiz, what these players do, I want that from one of our players. That. A one-on-one. I will look at you in the eye and I will dribble you. And I will shoot. Nobody does it. So how are we supposed to score? By crossing the ball in the box to Baldanzi? Like, guys, come on. So, again, eliminate the drama. Eliminate the drama. Please, eliminate the drama. Understand who we are. Understand that we're not a team that challenges for the Scudetto this season. Understand that our objective is top 4. Understand that we will need to pull up such a fight to get top 4. And understand that as of the 1st of December, it's December by the way, happy December to you all, we've overperformed. These players have overperformed and this manager has overperformed. And this is a very good sign. Because as I said at the beginning, if this is who we are with a shit transfer session, if you add a good number 9 and add some players with tempo, then maybe you can make that jump. You can. So blaming the players, for me, is not fair. No, it's fair, because the approach yesterday is ridiculous. I agree, you will have me on your side. But blaming them because we lost yesterday's game, you can do it, of course. I understand that we wanted a better approach. I wanted it as well. But Napoli are better than us. Napoli are the reigning champions. Napoli have got better. Napoli spent between Neres, Noah Lang, and Højlund about 130 million euros just to clear things out. Just to clear things out. Yesterday's the attack that Napoli had yesterday was probably in total 130 million euros. 130 million euros. And you know why I can't stand Conte as a person? As a manager, I think he's great. Because he grinds. And I think managers who grind in this league have proven to be the best. But faith to Gasperini, I love him. And I think, I'll say it again, I think Gasperini will be the manager of our next Scudetto. You know why I hate Conte personally? Because he has the decency to complain that he hasn't been backed in the transfer session. And when these managers, who they've got Lukaku injured, yes, they've got De Bruyne injured, absolutely. But if these two players are injured, he's got Højlund, he's got Neres, and he's got Lang. 130 million total spent on these 3. And Napoli lose a game, and Conte goes in front of the microphones and go, ma che significa? Ma che significa? Ma che significa? Cries. When Gasperini was first until last game week with Baldanzi as a false 9 and with 2 strikers who together probably scored 1 goal, 2 goals max. So Conte deserves to be slapped at times, but that's an argument that we will get to in a few days. Conte doesn't understand that he needs to win this league title or it's a failure. That's the thing that Conte doesn't understand. Because Conte cries, Conte complains, Conte never blames himself, never takes responsibility. Conte is a Mourinho 2.0. But the thing that Conte doesn't understand is that according to him, this Napoli this season is doing a miracle. When I think their three of their strikers who aren't even starting strikers cost them 130 million euros. And I find that ridiculous. But let me read a few comments and then I'll end it. Why was everyone wearing black? Oh yeah, that was a foul on Kone. He should have been stayed down. Instead he plays the ball. He should have stayed down. Instead he plays the ball. Something that hasn't been talked about enough. What do you think about the Dybala situation? He has been injured like last season and less productive or fit. Oh well, mate, the Dybala situation. You know what I think because I've spoken about it many times. Dybala is no longer Dybala. Yeah, again, I love him, and please don't confuse the fact that Paulo. I love him. Like for me, Paulo is. I would say it again, just for the sake of this conversation. A fit Dybala is the best player in this league, but speaking about a fit Dybala is like speaking about that 10 out of 10 girl that you will never get. It's the truth. Dybala and fit can no longer be placed in the same sentence. And, you know, Dybala, when I say that at the end of the season we need to move on from Dybala, it's not because of hate. It's because Dybala is no longer Dybala, guys. Like everyone speaks about Dybala still as if he was the Dybala that was roaming around this league 5 years ago, when it does not take a genius to look and see that Dybala is far gone. Guys, Dybala has one goal in 4 months of football in the league. Like, how can we continue paying 9 million euros each season? And people will go, well, Dybala is still the best player in the league. Yes, but in the team, I meant, not in the league. Yes, he is, but what am I supposed to do with a 9 million wage bill for a player who is producing nothing? But it's not his fault. It's not his fault. He's not a problem. I'm not defining him as a problem. He will never be a problem. He will always be an extra tool, but we can no longer rotate around him. We can't. Guys, Dybala on a physical and fitness level is destroyed. Like, Dybala sprints for 10 meters and he's on the ground. So, I think he's not a problem, but relying on Dybala and seeing Dybala as the ultimate player in this team is wrong, because it's no longer the case. It's no longer the case. The last peak Dybala had was that game against Porto in the second leg. After that game, injuries aside, what has he done that makes us at the end of the season go, yeah, okay, we need to continue paying this 10 million? We're not Real Madrid. We're not Barcelona. We're not. On a financial level, we're not. But on a power level, we're not. Because some teams may get away with it. We won't. This system doesn't like us. So maybe by releasing that Dybala salary, you can get a player like, in this case, the example of this video, of Neres' characteristics, who I think in this team would fit very well. So this is what I think. Do I think we need to move on from him at the end of the season? Does it break my heart? Yes, but do we want the best of this team, or are we Dybala FC? Like, Dybala is no longer Dybala. He scores you the penalty once in a while, yes. He scores you a good goal once in a while, but you know, Dybala has one goal in almost 5 months of football, 4 months of football. Like, we can't continue like this. And this is not hate, it's just the truth, you know. Dybala created her only chance yesterday. Lovely through ball to Baldanzi. Absolutely. But, you know, is that the reason you need to give him a 9 million? Like, you get my point. Surely I'm not the only one who thinks this, though. Because surely I'm not. Surely I'm not the only one who thinks that. Again, if he reduces his wages, then yes. But surely I'm not the only one to say that and to think that 9 million, 8 million, whatever it is for this Dybala is unacceptable, guys. He's unacceptable. I mean, you can't. It's not unacceptable. It's just unsustainable. That's the good term. But yeah, we have a 10th place level attack. I don't know what people expect. Gasperini and the team are doing a miracle by keeping us 1 point from the top of the league. Napoli, Inter, and Milan are not head-to-heads. Our actual head-to-heads are against Juve, Bologna, Como, Atalanta, and Lazio. They also have Lucca as well. Right, I'll catch you tomorrow. Hit the like, subscribe. Happy December to you all. And I'll speak to you soon. Simo out.